Hi, I'm Dave and welcome back to BrenTeck IT Tech Support. Today we're going to be packing up and packing away our Z Spa Milan hot tub. Now the reason why I'm packing away isn't just because it's coming to winter, because the Milan actually has frost protect, so you can leave it out all year and it will keep the water from freezing and keep the pump from freezing as long as it's connected to the mains and powered on. And I'll actually pop in a segment of our Home Assistant server where we can actually see where it's periodically just turning on just for a little bit, bringing the temperature up to stop it from freezing. But because we've been away for a while, helping family move and flying out to help family with a medical emergency, we haven't been here to enjoy it. My wife's been ill, so she's had surgeries, and obviously if you've got open wounds you shouldn't go into a hot tub. And she's now into getting tattoos, so again a new open wound with the tattoo. So during the winter we're actually unfortunately going to pack it away this year, because ironically hot tubs in winter are far better than hot tubs in the summer, because the heat from the hot tub and then going out into the cold or into the snow even, it's so exhilarating. You go to the Scandinavian countries and they love that sort of climate change. If you go to sports centres here in the UK, you go to the sauna, the spa, and then you go and have a ice bucket shower. They're lovely. Now we haven't got the sun. I know it's meant to be a renewable source. I can't see it. And our hot tub is solar powered. Again, I'll be showing about the solar power hot tub where it runs for free and can even make a profit out of heating the hot tub using our Home Assistant server. All the technical details will be in that video. It's a separate one. When it's available, it'll be up there, but that's still in the process of being produced. So we're going to tidy this away and dry it out. Make sure you always fully dry your hot tubs, because if you put it away over winter and it's slightly moist, then that's when mold and bacteria will set in and it'll be a nightmare to clean it for the next season. But us Brits, we kind of like our hot temperatures and we don't really get it, so in the summer we always have this out. Some of my viewers have actually built wooden boxes to go around it using this thermal cover as well, and the thermally insulated wooden box around it. They're keeping the temperatures much higher. But we found that obviously this has been kicking in to keep it warm, but it has kept the temperature in. It's really cold outside. I'm in a t-shirt because I've got to put my hands in here to get the filters out and clean the inside, but you don't have to pack it away in winter. You may need to do water changes again, just normal maintenance. But unfortunately we're packing it away just because of our personal circumstances, although I'd have loved to have left it out all year this year. So we'll get on and take off the thermal cover. If you want to see information about the thermal cover, there'll be a link for it down in the description and a card up there. And the thermal cover is brilliant. The Z Spa thermal cover is excellent. We did have the Clever Spa one as well, and again a comparison video of the two up there, but definitely go for the Z Spa thermal cover if you've got the Z Spa. But we'll get the cover off and start cleaning it out. First of all, just undo your clip at the bottom to take the cover off, and then find somewhere dry to place this and give it a wipe down if you need to. So we do have a bit of dirt on here, so we're going to have to give this a bit of a wipe down and rinse and then dry it off. Now we've got the thermal cover off, we can go around and undo our clips for the lid as you would do normally. Once you've done your clips, take the lid out the way, and again this is going to need to be cleaned and dried off. Now unfortunately, because you haven't been using it because you went away for a month and a half or 2 months, the water has got a bit green because we didn't keep up with our treatment, and that's purely our fault. It was absolutely gorgeous before we left, but we'll just give a quick clean of the inside. Okay, the best way to clean the bottom of your Z Spa or swimming pool or hot tub is to get the Z Spa rechargeable vacuum cleaner. It's absolutely amazing. I've got another video for it up there, and do get yourself one of these. I know they're pricey, but they're well worth the money. So we'll just pop that on, put it in, and just give the bottom of our hot tub a quick hoover, just to make our lives that little bit easier when we're going to wipe it down. And again, just regular maintenance keeps these so nice and so enjoyable throughout the year. But when you have to go away for months unexpectedly, because unfortunately our mother-in-law has found unconscious and we had to fly out to Ethiopia to make sure she got the hospital treatment she needed, we kind of stopped doing what we needed to do at home. And then just turn it off before you take it out, and then all your dirt's going to be trapped in there, so take it away and then empty this. Now we've just got a drain down here. The camera's not going to pick up the dirt there, but that is full of dirt, so I'm going to rinse it out under the tap and pack this away. I should mention that we got the Lazy Spa underwater vacuum cleaner from Lazy Spa as part of a sponsorship deal. So again, thanks to Lazy Spa for sponsoring that video, and I guess partly sponsoring this video because again we are using this product which we do love. Okay, the next thing to do would be take out our little rubber duck, which is a chlorine dispenser, but I assume the chlorine is all worn out as it has been a heck of a time since we've used it, and yes, no chlorine left, which is why we've neglected it a little bit, unfortunately. Another sponsored product from Clearwater was the Absorb Balls. These are brilliant. What they do is they soak up all the oils that come off your skin when you're in the hot tub, and it just makes cleaning the hot tub that much easier. It's worked really, really well since we got these. So the filters lasted a little bit longer. Everything just needed that little bit less cleaning. Just take one of these out of the box, pop it in, and it just floats there, does its thing, and then when it sinks 2/3 up below the waterline, take it out, place it with another one because you get a packet of 3, and then rinse them out. They're absolutely brilliant. I love them. Again, just going to squeeze it out for now, and we're going to give that a good wash when indoors in the sink with a little bit of warm soap and water, and then let it dry out, and that's good to go. Next is we have to take off the filter and chlorinator pot as well. So I'll put these away and then do that. We'll have a link for the Absorb Balls in the description below and the vacuum cleaner. We'll have a card up in the corner for the video of the Absorb Balls. Okay, to simply remove the chlorinator outlet. Now, we know that that's going to be empty again, but that's where you put your chemicals to help keep the water clean. And we'll remove our filter. Again, we've got a drain just down here. So we'll just give that a rinse and allow that to clean and dry out. So again, I'll just pop to the gouge sink and give that a good clean. Now, there's a difference between the new Milan and our old Paris, which is a pipe which is down here, which goes under the floor and then comes out to a valve here to drain it from the bottom very easily. We don't need to get a hose and do it that way, or try and get some to lift it up to allow water through. It looks like it's been designed to allow the water through. So what I'll do is bring the camera around and allow you to see here. We're also going to remove the pump at this point as well. So I'll get the caps and put the caps on so I can remove the pump without having water come out all over me. So we'll get our caps to put over where the inlet and outlet were, and that'll just stop water from gushing out from the pipes when we get detached the motor, which is the air bubble pump and heating water recycling system. So it just keeps the floor dry whilst working it when we know we've got a deliberate outlet straight over our lovely little drain. So I'll bring you guys around and you can see how to disconnect the pump. At the moment we can tell that the pump is still on, so we'll disconnect it now as we don't need it at the moment, but we will need to power it back on, plug it into here using the inflator hose with the deflator attachment to deflate the tub, and we'll do the same with the lid, but we'll get to that in a minute. So just quickly flick this off. We can hear the RCD trip and we're now good to undo this. We'll move our insulation that we put on as an extra just to keep the water warmer in the pipes. Now water will come out in this process, don't worry about it, but it won't be much, it'll just be a little trickle. So we'll disconnect our air first, and then we will disconnect the return, I believe that one is. And now you can get the pump out of the way, and I'll show you how to open the drain. Right, Again, we're going to need to clean all the matting from underneath. That does get gunky during the summer. But here we have our little lid, so we'll just take this off here. And then that's a straight flow all the way underneath with a plastic tube with a stop inside. Right, and we just pull the flap out. And you may need to hold that bit open, but that's just straining straight out, as you can see now. And we can immediately see the water gush straight out. Nice steady flow, and I think that's going to stay like that until it's almost completely empty, whereas before, as the water moved, actually put pressure on the drain out and blocked it off. This is a much better design. Well done Lazy Spa for the updates. Whilst that's draining, we can get on with cleaning and drying the other parts. Okay, the way we're going to clean this is just with a clean rag, some warm soapy water, and a second bucket of clean water, so that we've got 2 bucket system, one for rinsing and taking dirt off, and one for putting clean water on. I'm also going to use a little bit of white vinegar, just in case there's any bit of mildew or mould that's starting to develop, although it looks much cleaner than my last one, where I left it for a lot longer and didn't do really good maintenance. This was just a short break of maintenance, but we'll just give it a little bit of a spray with this, but don't leave it on because it could damage the plastics. I doubt it, because vinegar's a basic cleaning chemical and isn't corrosive, but it will sort of help get rid of any bacteria or limescale buildup as well. So we'll just quickly dip in our warm soapy water and give it a quick spray, and then rinse off. Now you may need to deflate this ever so slightly to get it out, so we can clean the whole thing and then clean inside the lip, the inside and outside of all the parts, and get them as clean and as dry as possible. You may also want to leave them in a warm room, if you've got a drying room or a garage or something, leave them in there. If you've got a dehumidifier, pop that on as well, really get the moisture out as much as possible. So we'll just let some air out of here so we can take this out. Don't let it go flat at this stage. Just give that a pinch, that helps the air out. And then put the bung back in. We can now hopefully take the internal bladder out. The reason why we're leaving this partly inflated is to make it a lot easier to clean and dry. Now get our dry cloth. I'm going to pop this in the garage to allow it to air dry, and then once it is fully air dried, we're going to use the deflator hose in here and use the bubbles on the pump to actually suck air out, and then that will sort of vacuum pack this away to make it a lot smaller for us. But we'll come back to that later once it's dry. Again, we just need to clean and dry both inside the lip and the outside of the lid cover. And if you've got the thermal cover, again, clean the inside on that very well, making sure it's perfectly dry before finally packing it away. But we'll just give this a quick wipe down. And again, dry the inside. Now, the reason why we're wiping everything down with clean soapy water and maybe a little bit of white vinegar is not just to clean bacteria and dirt off it, but also to clean the chemicals such as the chlorine and anti-lime scale off, because again, you don't want chemicals just laying on the plastics, as it could cause damage. Also, it will just start to make it smell, and leaving anything moist on will then cause more bacteria to grow. So always clean and fully dry. And then give it a flip and do the outside. It's not just the top part. The top, we also need to do the skirt part of it as well, so make sure you do clean all of it. So we're going to be moving it around. Now the yellow cloths I'm using to wash and dry it are called magic cloths or super dries, and they're really effective at soaking up water. They come in, I think, blue and orange or yellow, and they can be quite pricey, but they're very worth it. They're not good for using to actually do any scrubbing work because they're like a fabric and they will come apart, but for soaking up, they're brilliant. I'm just doing light scrubbing. I'm not talking about like scrubbing a floor or washing clothes or something with them. It is just a light rub these will do, but they're designed for really soaking up a spill. They're brilliant if you're defrosting your freezer. I'll have a link for them down below. That's the worst of the water off and it's nice and clean. So again, I'll go and pop that in the garage to dry off. And if you've got yourself the Lazy Spa thermal cover, again, give that a good wash down, dry off, and put that somewhere to fully dry. Again, you might want to do the inside of this as well. I'm going to have to check to see how dirty the inside of our one is. It's normally pretty clean, so I might just need to give that a good, just quick wipe, but not very too much about that one. Now this one's much harder to do as it's a big one, and needing to do the skirt is going to be more difficult to get to, so I'll probably cut this one because there's a lot of cleaning in this one. Because you really want to focus on the bottom of the skirt where it touches the ground. That's where you're going to get all your muck and water collecting. Once you're happy that you've washed it down, again, give it a good thorough dry. As this is a big one, I'm going to cut it here, and once it's dry, guess where it goes? Back in the garage. Make sure it fully air dries, and I'm going to pop a dehumidifier in there as well to really suck the moisture out. You can probably tell it's only the studio lights outside that's lighting it now. It's really gotten dark, so we're going to cut here for the evening, and hopefully tomorrow we're going to have good enough weather that we can show the cleaning and drying of the inside and outside of the spa tub itself and the matting. So we'll catch you then. Okay, we've got the lid and the cover and the thermal jacket washed and drying. So now we're going to sweep around the outside to get any loose dirt out before we get more water around. We've just got some water coming out of this bit, but before we wash the outside, might as well sweep up the loose dry dirt, get that out of the way, and then we can wash the outside done. So I'll just quickly get on and do that. And again, we're going to go around the outside and inside of the tub with some white vinegar and a clean wet cloth with 2 buckets, one for rinsing, one for fresh water, and then a drying cloth as well to try and get as much dirt and moisture off as possible before we put it indoors to fully dry it. Obviously, if you're doing it when it's still good weather, you can dry it outdoors a lot quicker and easier, but it's still best to make sure absolutely every drop of moisture is off, otherwise it will cause damp, mould and rot to set in when it's stored over winter. So we'll just crack on and give this a clean whilst the dregs are draining out at the bottom. I've got to say that the new drain style is much better. It is drained so much easier and so much quicker than the last one. So well done to Lazy Spa for doing that update. Brilliant addition to the product. Right, we've got the outside and inside clean now. Still got some drying off to do. Now we've got to get the last bits of water out, so we've got to upend it, and unfortunately it does mean that we'll get some of this dirty again because of the mat, but it's just a quick way of getting the last bit of water out, and it's really not that much left in there. Now to take off our bungs as we want all the water to come out. Now this bit would be a lot easier if you had someone to help you. And remember, when you are emptying these, there'll still be chlorine and other chemicals in here, so you ideally do want to put it down a drain, not over your grass, because it could potentially kill the grass if there's active chemicals still in there. And now we've got the fun job of cleaning the bottom. And obviously don't forget to clean the bottom as well. Again, make sure it's clean and fully dry. Now, to help separate the dirt in my cleaning bucket, I've got a couple of these filters which just allow sediment to drop to the bottom of the bucket. If you want to get these bucket filters, there'll be a link for them down in the description below. These are absolutely great, especially when you're washing your cars and motorbikes and motorhomes and things, because it allows dirt and grit to sink to the bottom of the bucket and doesn't get brought back up when you rinse out your sponge or your cloth. And if you put one in your cleaning bucket and one in your rinse bucket, then all the better. I've just got two in there, but they work incredibly well. The reason why we're washing the mat now is only flip it upside down to make sure we've got the last bits of water out. It's slightly cleaner. It's a case of clean, re-clean and clean again, and then dry. Now, given that a quick wipe down, upend it, clean it again. Now try and get most of the moisture off as possible and then let it air dry for a bit before you put it indoors in a warm environment, ideally with a dehumidifier, or if you've got a nice warm sunny day, perfect. Leave it out and let it dry naturally. This is a good point to put your stopper back in so you don't forget that for next year. And we can add the cap. And so you don't lose the stoppers, again, might as well put those on. Now we're just going to let that air dry whilst we pack away as much of this mat as possible. And then we're going to go indoors to show you the deflating of the other parts that are currently drying. So again, these are going to be really filthy underneath here. So it's always just a case of rinse and repeat. I'm just going to hose these off and then I'm going to put them in the bath to air dry in the bathtub, because being foam, they do soak up quite a bit of water and take quite a while to dry out, but then they just get shoved up in the loft anyway afterwards once they're dry. So I'll just do that off camera. Okay, what we've got to do is give the pump a quick wipe down and dry off before we take it indoors to deflate the lid bladder, which we've got indoors drying off. So just give the whole thing a wipe down and make sure you get the bottom as well, especially if you're going to be bringing it indoors, because you will have junk at the bottom. This is easy if you have someone else to hold it for you or a sturdy place to put it. So just get all the bits and give the cable a wipe down as well. Okay, we've got all this nice and dry now, and the pump's been cleaned and dried, and we brought it indoors because we can see the temperature's now gone up to 10 degrees in here. The room is actually warmer than that, it's just reading low because of it's in an insulated environment, but it was doing the frost protect kick in, so trying to heat the water and pump the water without any water, so then it was coming up with the error saying pump malfunction or no water flow, so we had to bring it in to do that. But we've done that now. So we'll get our deflator attachment and our inflator hose, and we'll screw the inflator hose onto the deflator attachment, and then we'll attach this to the pump here. And so as it blows air through there, it will suck air out of there, just like a spray gun for painting. We'll open up our socket and we'll attach the spiked version this time so the airflow can come out. And we'll just pop that in our hole and we'll hear it starting to release some air. Press and hold the power button and turn on the pump bubbles. Certainly is getting the air out of it very nicely, but we'll just fold it over and just help it along a little bit. You don't need to put any pressure on it really, you can just leave it going to do this. We're just trying to speed up the process a little bit. Take it out, put the bung in, and a fairly nicely, almost completely vacuum packed bag. There's still going to be some air in that, that's not going to give it full vacuum, but much easier to pack away. So next we're going to have to bring in the main part of the hot tub and let that fully dry indoors with the humidifier that we've got in the background going, just to really get that last bit of moisture off of it before we vacuum pack that. We'll come back to that tomorrow. Okay, now you've finished drying off the Lazy Spa fully inside and out and underneath. Filters, the bucket filters that I was talking about earlier, which I'll have a link for in the description, I actually placed underneath here because this is just air and they're quite large, so it was able to disperse the weight so it shouldn't damage the bottom of the hot tub. And it allowed me to dry the bottom outside and inside using the dehumidifier whilst we're indoors, so it should be really nice, crisp and dry now. So what you need to do is open up the air inlet to deflate it, and we'll still keep our crown shape adapter on the inflator hose and keeping the deflator attachment attached as we did earlier for the lid. We'll now just push this all the way in and we should start hearing it come out. And that's just letting the air out just from here, and it's blowing it straight out of there. But now what we're going to do is come to here, again turn our pump on and recompress bubbles, and it will help suck the air out. And that's going to be a long noisy process, so I'm not going to have that being fully recorded. I'm just going to put that on and come back in a little bit when we can see it come down. I'm just having to now just give this a gentle pull to try and help keep the front away from the back. So just a gentle hold on the rim and keep the hose pushed in so that you can suck more out from around the whole thing, because obviously it could create a vacuum seal just at this point. So just try and keep that in mind whilst doing it. No. So pull that as quickly as you can, put the lid on as quickly as you can, and then turn the blow off to stop air from being sucked back into the vacuum packed hot tub. And now we just need to fold it up and put it into our box. So very simple, easy process to do. The deflator works incredibly well. And again, doing it this way, I do think has helped suck some of the moisture up, because I don't believe I did that the first year. But again, you can't see inside of this one, but I did check and it was dry inside as far as I could tell, so I'm happy with that. And then you can inflate it and set it back up for next summer and enjoy it again. Also, do remember that with the Frost Protect, you can leave this out all year, especially if you do have the thermal blanket, which is brilliant. Again, there'll be a link for it down in the description below for the thermal blanket. They are wonderful, and in the winter you will enjoy it a lot, because you've got the contrast with the hot water from the hot tub and then going out into the snow or just the cold fresh air. It just really gives the body a bit of a shock, and it vitalizes it, and it's actually meant to be very healthy as well. So you don't have to pack them away for the winter, but it is absolutely wonderful. I do love the Lazy Spa products. I think they are very good quality, good value for money, and really, really enjoyable. And certainly with back pains and muscle strains and aches, this has been an absolute godsend. It really has helped us and made us feel a lot better over the summer. And again, really do wish we could keep it up over the winter, but if we're not going to be using it, good time to do maintenance, pack it away, clean it, to a full water change, obviously, if you're packing away, taking the water out. But absolutely wonderful, and the Frost Protect works really well. If you do want to get yourself a Lazy Spa, the thermal cover, the chemicals, or any of the parts or bits that you've seen in the video, there will be links for everything down in the description below. Well, that's it for now. Do hope to see you all again very soon. If you did like the video, give it a good thumbs up, like, comment, and subscribe. Also, do leave comments down below, because we really do enjoy talking to everyone. You may be slow at replying sometimes because we're very busy with our jobs as well, but it's a great community we're building up, and it's a pleasure for making the videos for you guys. Well, that's it for now. So as always, take care and see you again soon. Bye for now.